You're probably asking yourself, what does he mean? How is Lelouch right? Well, roll the clip.
Ever since that day, my heart simply couldn't accept it. This fake life I was never able to fit into. All the time that was lost. These false memories planted in me, giving me a life as one of the herd. And yet, the truth continues to guide me toward itself. That's right! It wasn't me who was wrong! It was the world! The world has to change, so I will change it.
Now, as you've seen, Lelouch said ever since that day, you know, I've been living my life as like one of the herd. This false reality, this way of life they expect me to live. But I'm not wrong, the world is wrong, you know? The world needs to change and I will change it. Code Geass is my favorite anime of all time. One, because of the storytelling of Lelouch v Britannia, who ends up conquering and becoming the all true evil, and the cerebralness of him, but also the goodness, because at the end of the day, he had a purpose and a goal. He achieved his goal and he conquered the world. And he felt like the world was in a cruel system that needed to be changed. And he achieved his goal of changing the world. And tapped into a lot of consciousness in the show with God, and how the Emperor's true goal was to make everybody one. Because you study the concept of oneness, they say that everybody at one point, everyone will die and all go back to one consciousness. This is outside of the theology, typical theology. So basically, Lelouch's parents wanted them all to basically rejoin each other in death, because they were going to destroy God to a point. Basically, have God abide by their will, meaning that everybody's consciousness will all be one again. So in actuality, their parents weren't wrong, because they say your human ego wants you to live. So you can make the case that Lelouch's and everyone else's human egos rejected the idea of making the earth cease to exist, because they were saying you were going to be back with your sister Yuffie again. And he made the case that not only didn't want this, he just wanted she wanted a happier world. But that's to be expected, because they had to have an antagonizer. But in actuality, the Emperor really wasn't wrong. He was wrong in the fact of human nature, because like Lelouch said, he abandoned them. And he said it's because they loved him and they wanted them away. And like C2 said, that you keep someone you love from far away to avoid harm. But at the same time, you go looking at it from a human perspective, they are wrong, because they're wrong because you neglected your children in your human life, because you still have human duties. But they're not wrong in the sense that all wanting to be oneness, because you know, the only reason we don't want to be oneness is because this human finite brain that has an ego that wants us to continue to live. That's why you have things called fight or flight, or adrenaline and stuff like that, because it's your fight or flight. You fight back or you run. It's the ego wanting you to live and not die, and the sadness and its emotions. But they weren't wrong. But outside of all that, Lelouch was right, because the world does need to change. And for someone like me, I always wanted to make a big impact on the world and change the world. That's ultimately why I wanted to do content to a point, because I wanted to make an impact. And that's the reason I started doing these type of videos, because at the end of the day, why did I really want to start? I wanted to, you know, for the folks that do see and do take heed to what I say, you know what I'm saying, it could provide some value to them. And I'm steady evolving and educating myself on a lot of terms and education and knowledge to get to a point where I can be at my pinnacle. Now, I'm still in the process of working, but I'm young, so I definitely feel like I want to change the world. And Lelouch was right, because this false reality that they teach us to live and they train us to live, and this is the American dream, and this is how the world works, and this is true, and this is false, this is a conspiracy. I never believe none of that. I always look outside of all that, because I know that the world is wrong. But this is a false reality that they got us living. And that's why Lelouch and code geass always resonated so deep with me because of the message. Because to create anew, you know, you might suffer everything and take all the blame and the pain, but at the end of the day, you created anew. You started a new generation, and you helped lead those into a better world. You know, so that was always why I always felt like the anime code geass is the greatest, because it represents me. I don't want to be in a system. I want to break out of this system and be great. Right? That's just my essence. That's who I want to be. That's who I always wanted to be. To make a difference, revolutionary, you know. So, yeah, Lelouch, Britannia was correct.
Also, I would like to add to it that he also said these false memories that were planted in my head. If you study reincarnation, you know that we live multiple lives. And in your past life, you don't remember none of those memories because you have the knowledge from this previous life to not help you succeed in the life that you're in now in the present. So, that being said, these false memories of life planted into my head, you know, wanting me to live as the herd because I don't know that there's more to life, because I've already experienced it, but I don't know it because I was born into this new life with a baby brain. But you know, they say you can tap into your previous life with lots of shadow work. So I know these false memories put into our head, this false illusion of life. And I just want to add that into to give you some food for thought. You know, raise above the false thoughts. Try to go within, try to tap into your previous knowledge. Because at the end of the day, this is a false reality.